We're here on the top of Mount Tolmie, overlooking our beautiful city of Victoria, BC, the traditional land of the Algonquin-speaking people, including the Esquimalt, Songhees, and Wasanic nations, where we live, learn, and raise our families. They say it takes a village, so let's meet them. Families of all shapes, sizes, and stories. Are you ready? Let's go. I need my sass back. If you're doing it all from meltdown to task and still fighting to keep up that sass, friend, I've got you. Hey, I'm Deb, host of Sass and Small Talk, the mental load of parenthood, Season 2. As a mom of 2 smallies, navigating life with a neurodivergent family and my own neurospicy brain, caregiving for aging parents, and trying to hold it all together with grace, I know what it means to carry the mental, emotional, and invisible load of parenting. But here's the thing, we weren't meant to do this alone. This season, we're exploring the many faces of parenthood, from single parents to co-parents, blended families to chosen families, and everything in between, right here in our beautiful city of Victoria, BC, and beyond. They're sharing real stories of overwhelm, grief, imposter syndrome, breaking generational cycles with the resilience it takes to keep showing up. Real parents, real families, real stories, because it takes a village to raise a child and a community to raise their parent. Darling, I need my sass back. Today, we're talking about the mental load of blending families, the invisible work of navigating multiple households, co-parenting styles, and making sure every child feels seen, safe, and loved, no matter where they're laying their head that night. My guest today is the real-life embodiment of grace under pressure. Carly is a mom of a beautifully blended family of 6, juggling life with kids of different ages, backgrounds, and faiths. She shows up with intention, with humor, and with that unique mama magic that somehow keeps it all together on most days anyway. And now she's here with me. This is Carly. Hi, Carly. Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for being here. I know time is not something that you have like an abundance of, but you came anyway. Thank you so much.
Thank you
amazing.
For having me.
I'm so glad you're here. You know what? We have so much to talk about, so let's just dive right in. Yeah? Okay. So let's talk about your current reality.
Okay.
Let's talk about your family. Who's at your table these days?
Who's at my table? We have me and Chuck.
Okay.
And then we have our oldest, Atlas. He's going to be turning 8. Then we have Wyatt, who is 6. Willow, who is turning 6. And then we have Corbin, who just turned 1.
Oh, little baby Corby.
Yeah.
Now, I know this wonderful family. This is a personal friend of mine as well. And I've always admired you from up close, but also from a distance. And I always wondered, how the heck do you do it? So we're going to get into the meat potatoes of this because I really need to know how the heck you do it with all your kids. You got the whole crew with you at all times. The biology behind this.
Like what works for
Before
us.
you met Chuck, you had which kids?
Okay. Before I met Chuck. Before I met Chuck.
That's another show.
Yeah. I met Chuck and I already had Atlas and Willow.
Okay.
And he had Wyatt.
How old was Atlas?
Atlas was turning 4.
Okay.
He was 3.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely. So he met you with a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And how old was Willow?
A year old. She was 1.
Year old. Okay. And Wyatt was also?
He was just turning 2.
Oh, just turning 2. So, okay. So very close in age.
Yes.
That worked really well with interests and fun times together as you blended your family together. All right. So let's talk about how this all came to be. When you first met Chuck, like what was this? What took place? You saw him and you're like, another dad.
No.
How does this all work?
He actually sought out me, and it took about 6 months for me to actually agree to like even meet him. Like I had never met him.
Okay.
Yes, it took about 6 months.
I like that. You had your boundaries even back then.
Well, I was just kind of fresh out of a separation from my marriage, and I just wasn't ready.
Right.
And I had 2 kids. So in my mind, I'm thinking, who would be interested in someone who is going through a divorce and has 2 children. But here's this little angel.
Here he is.
Yeah.
I love that. That just shows a lot about the kind of...
His character. Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Chap. All right. So now we blend our families together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, because, with blended families, we're not just talking about coordinating schedules. We're talking about creating our own rhythms and our values in our home and building it together, which isn't always easy because we're coming from different backgrounds. So let's talk about the family routines that are uniquely yours and Chuck's as a blended family. If someone were to peek into your house and they looked at what you were doing, they'd be like, that is so them. So what are
Chaos.
these things? Chaos. Okay, let's talk
We're
about
a chaotic family. There's lots of noise, lots of
noise. And it's welcomed.
Oh, most of the time, yes.
Most of the time.
I will say there a time in the day where I get a little bit overstimulated with all the noise while I'm cooking dinner. But typically, and
we're going to
noise is better than no noise.
Yes, we like noise, and then to some degree, but then we're going to talk about coping and what you do to kind of drown out some of that noise. All right, so now you have these parenting patterns from your history. Do you bring those patterns into this new life of yours, or do you?
Yeah, I think they just kind of become elevated and updated, and you kind of just mesh them with your partner.
Did you feel like you changed some things around intentionally?
Yeah, I think I changed personally, which then changes your parenting styles. Chuck is the parent who is just always full of patience. Nothing, no noise ever gets to him. He just is always just let it roll off, just whatever.
So he's one of these.
Yes, and I'm just structure and boundaries.
Maybe that's
so
a good match.
We are a good match.
That's
yes,
a great match. I love that. So do you change this approach, or whatever approaches you have? Do you change it with whoever kid is with you, whichever child is under your care?
I think that every child does need different parenting because every child is different. Every child's needs are different.
Right.
So their core parenting is the same, but each child needs a little bit different stuff. Atlas is more sensitive, and Willow needs more one-on-one time. Wyatt needs more physical rough play. They're just all slightly different. Yeah.
And yet somehow you make it work when they're all together.
Yes, because the core stuff is the same.
I love that. So why don't we talk about the logistics of having to manage the expectations of, let's say, the other parents? Where do they stand in this situation? Do you have the kids more more often? Is there kind of a split? How often do you have to navigate other households? Or not?
I would say that our blended family is unique in the sense that we do have our kids full time. So the other parents are not at fault as much.
Okay.
So when we are doing things, yes, we will always consider the other parent. But at the end of the day, we're going to do what is the best interest for our child.
Exactly.
And because we do have them full time, we get to make those decisions a little bit more freely than probably parents who have to do the 1 week on, 1 week off situation.
So you find there is a benefit to be able to say it's a blended family, but it's mostly at home.
Yeah, I would say there's benefit and not each way.
Yeah.
Benefit in the sense that we're not having to constantly check in with the other parent, say, is this okay? Is this okay? But then our child is kind of lacking the other parent sometimes, right? So it goes both ways.
I want to talk about that because, this show, this season, we're focusing on mental load. And for the typical parent at home, the focus is on, the things you see. Everything is right in front of you. You see the chaos. You see what they have to do. But with a blended family, there is an invisible load. There is there's an emotional aspect to this whole thing too. Just what you mentioned. Yes, you have them full time. They're under your care. But you did mention, in some ways, there's some complications for that.
Yeah.
What are some of the emotional trials that you have to deal with having, let's talk about, let's say, Atlas, and versus with Corbin, he's yours and Chuck's biological. And so with a joint, why don't we talk about the benefits of that or the changes or the shifts that you saw take place with Corbin coming into the picture?
Huge. I can speak definitely on both sides of this. So Atlas, I had when I was 21 in Medicine Hat, so very secluded. I moved back to Victoria with him as a baby. And so all of his raising was done solely by me. His dad is in the pictures, but he's just in a different province. So being able to see him is not easy. Mm-hmm. But then I notice a big difference in the sense that Corbin wakes up every day next to his dad and his mom. Mm-hmm. Corbin's going to have his dad and his mom at every sports thing, every concert at school, parent-teacher interviews, everything like that. We're going to be together. It's not going to have to be one parent do it at this time, one parent do it at this time, or, oh, I'm at my mom's this weekend, so she's coming to my soccer game. Oh, my dad can come next weekend. There's none of that. So I see such a difference in how their life is, like their needs are met so differently. Right. And Atlas doesn't know any different.
Right.
But I can see the difference.
So that must be...
It's hard.
Hard on your heart.
Yeah.
And now even being able to compare and seeing where that has been a trial for Atlas without him really knowing.
Yeah.
And seeing the vast difference.
Yeah.
So that's where Chuck's position, his role.
It's amazing.
It's essential.
Yes.
Plays that father figure. He really is the father figure.
Yeah.
More often than not, right? So
totally. He is the one at their parent-teacher interviews. Yeah. He is the one at their school functions alongside me. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. So do you see that there's any sort of, like, do the kids have they voiced out ever? Like, I kind of feel like it's unfair. So-and-so gets this and so-and-so gets that. It's not necessarily Corbin, but of course.
I think that that's a normal feeling for a child to always look at something that a different child has or another sibling has, and their first thing they say is, that's not fair. And then Chuck's,
even get that.
Yes, totally. Chuck's favorite thing is, you want a free life lesson? Life's not fair.
Yeah, it's not.
But then we say, like, well, do you want to be treated just like Corbin? Because then, we have to go back to the diapers and the early bedtime. And, you want to be treated just like Atlas? Well, then there's more responsibilities. You're unloading the dishwasher with me. You're helping do that, like, put away the clothes. Like, so every time they hear those, they're like, oh, actually.
No, thanks.
No, my position is very fair. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the, just an everyday situation.
Yeah.
But in a blended family, do you find that there's a different way that, let's say, you treat Wyatt?
Yeah, I do. Only you don't mean to treat them differently. No. But I do have to be careful in the sense that, like, he does have a biological mom, right? So I do have to be careful. I don't want to step on toes. I will treat him just like he's my child, but I do have to make sure that, like, there's certain things that I can't step on. Like, my children rely heavily on their faith, but Wyatt is not as involved in that because it's not
his practice. So it's something you respect.
Right, exactly. So there's things like that. But my day-to-day, I have all 4 kids. So my 4 kids their routines are the same. They do the same things with me. Their life is not different.
Right.
Yeah, their love is the same.
See that.
I potty trained Wyatt. I potty trained Willow. I potty trained Atlas. Like, that's just my life with them. So they don't know life without each other.
Yeah. And you.
Yes.
And that's beautiful.
But to them, they don't remember life without Wyatt. Wyatt doesn't remember life without Willow and Atlas. So they can't even think about it. So their life, they can't even be like, oh, remember when it was just you and me? Like, they can't comprehend that. So
you don't have that kind of that challenge that some blended families have as they meet later in life.
There's, like, little things, but I don't think it's necessarily a blended family problem. Like, Willow will sometimes be upset that I can't lay in bed with her for a long time at night. But then, like, my stepson will get more time cuddling his dad. But the only reason that is because we're going through a season where my baby is breastfed. Yeah. So he is more attached to me than his dad right now. Right. So we're just going through seasons like that. But I think that's more of just having a baby.
Yeah. I think that's more of, like, the new baby.
Mm-hmm.
And how are they all with the new baby? I mean, this is
it comes full circle with him, and we'll get to that. But like, do they see the completion that maybe,
I think they do.
Yeah.
They might not notice it, but then again, they're also going to look back and not remember life without Corbin.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember what life was like without him.
Yeah.
Because he really did the thought of 4 kids is like, oh no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But now not having 4, I'm like, I couldn't do life without having 4.
You need this guy.
Yes, 4 is better than 3.
I love that. Let's talk about that. 4 is better than 3.
4 is better than 3.
What are the things?
3, you notice that you are already outnumbered. You notice.
Okay.
And 3, there's always one left out. They're kind of fighting to get along. One's like, what about me? And then with Corbin around, there's one who's like, oh, they're hanging out. What's Corbin up to? Or what? Let me go hang out with Corbin, or let me build blocks and let Corbin knock them down. And so, yeah, 4 is just easier.
This was all beyond your control, the timing of it, but it was.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like even meeting Chuck and like, I'm so glad he just held on for you. He just waited, because the timing is perfect. It's flawless, really. Because now when we see like you have the help of Atlas and Willow. That age to be able to, like, she's got that kind of mothering.
I have to tell her to push the brakes.
She's like, you're not the mom.
I do have to tell them that,
you're not
because
mom.
I don't want them to be in a position where they feel like they have to take care of him. Right. It's not their job.
It's not their job.
I want them to be strictly siblings, but not the sibling that's like picking him up and like carrying him around the house and like putting
Oh yeah, that happens.
Stop, Willow. Yeah.
You mean the little doll in the house? He's the new little doll in the house.
Yeah.
But I do love that. Like the dynamic is just so special.
Yeah.
Where they have kind of more defined roles. Like
purpose almost.
Yeah, I like that, and that's important to humans.
Yes.
Own children. So I'm so happy.
And Willow's kind of transitioning from being the baby of the family to being the big sister.
Yeah.
And that's really fun for her.
Oh, that's so good. And side note, Willow is literally the little, those little dolls that they fit into each other.
Oh yeah,
she's yours.
Yeah, she's mine.
But so is Atlas.
Yes, but she's just like a copy and paste.
She really is a copy and paste of you. It's just beautiful. It's just amazing. And what's really funny is that Wyatt and her.
Yeah, they look like twins.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
He just looks like he should be one of my, like he is mine, but like biologically.
Biologically.
And watching him go from essentially an only child, like he wasn't, because he had Willow and Atlas. But going from essentially an only child to having like Corbin. Was a big shift for him, and that was really great to watch. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
They have a lot of fun together.
That's right. They have this shared biological string that attaches them now.
Yeah. Which connects all the kids, which makes them all,
Oh, God, that just gets me right here. No wonder he's always smiling. He's just always smiling,
Corbin?
that beautiful baby.
Yeah.
He's just smiling. He's the glue. He's that
hilarious.
string. He's just like that. Just amazing. I just love that. Now, let's talk about some of the not so easy aspects of a blended family, and more in the emotional end of this. Is still under mental load.
Yeah.
Having to carry some of those outside opinions. And I'm sure they've shifted throughout your life as these 4 beautiful kids' mom. Talking about self-doubt and wondering, when will those questions stop? And like the tilted heads and kind of scratching. Let's talk about the multiracial aspect of your family. And we've talked before in that you've never really defined it as multiracial. This is just who they are.
Well, I notice my kids' color. Like very clearly, like I know and I appreciate the fact that my kids' color of their skin is different than mine. But what I don't notice is that what other people notice. Like they look at my kids and they go, oh, that one. Oh, is he adopted? Are you babysitting? Oh, daycare. Whereas when I span my room and I'm looking at all my children, that thought obviously doesn't pop in my head.
No.
So yes, I obviously notice. Yes, but I don't notice what other people see.
And you also advocate you educate and advocate for your kids, and also with the regard of their faith, their faith backgrounds and their culture. You absolutely give, you pay homage. What's the word? You ensure that there is regard for where they came from. But let's talk about some of the maybe questionable comments you received in your life as a mom of these kids, with what the naked eye sees, the outsider sees.
Yeah. I think people automatically assume that my oldest is adopted because he's half Black. His dad was born and raised in Ghana. So my son just came out, just this little bundle of beautifulness. But people automatically assume because he is darker that he was adopted. Or they assume that he is being babysat, or because I have 4 kids, they automatically assume I'm running a daycare. Yeah. I got that the other day at the park. Daycare.
There's so much structure that I kind of look at you. I'm like, how did you do it?
I need to set the boundaries.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about boundaries.
Boundaries create safeness. And if you step outside those boundaries, what happens? My child breaks their arm or cracks open her head. Or
it has to happen. You have to have the boundaries. There's just no choice with the amount of kids you have and the safety. But then
I set the boundaries. They don't stay in the boundaries. There's a difference.
They don't always adhere.
Yes, but at least they know where the boundaries are.
Yes. They need that.
Yeah. Then they can connect the dots.
They need that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So now we're going to talk about, let's go back to that. The structure, the daycare, kind of like it looks like it's a daycare we're running. How does it feel when someone stops you? Has this happened before?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Originally, like when my son was a baby in the grocery store, like someone made like an offhanded comment being like, "Oh, he's so cute. Where did you get him?" And at that time, I was so offended. I was young. I just had a baby. I was offended that someone would even say that to me. Now I'm just like, oh, you idiot.
Listen, I'm 50, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm still offended, okay, to hear. But you're right. It's like something you maybe have gotten accustomed to.
Well, I just think that, everyone makes ignorant comments sometimes. I'm sure things have come out of my mouth where I'm like, whoa, why did I say that? Or wish I could take that back. Or I was educated and I'm like, I will never say that again. So this older lady in the grocery store looked at my son and thought he was adorable. Looked at me and was like, oh, there's no way he came from you. Where did you get him?
Where did you get him?
Yes.
Like that kind of comment, like written down, you look at it and you're like, what on earth?
Yeah.
You're right. I mean,
whatever.
I love that you have the understanding to be able to say, ignorant, not knowing, let's educate. Do you bother educating? Like
sometimes, but sometimes I also am still learning. So
yeah,
I just know, I know where he came from. So if someone asks me, I can let you know.
Yeah. And maybe as time kind of passed and you grow up with them, you're like, it's going to happen. And I'm going to choose my battles wisely.
Yeah.
And is it worth it? Probably not. For you're rushing in and out of the grocery store.
No.
The last thing you need to do is educate.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So I just love that. But let's talk about your own self-doubt, whether it's influenced by moments like that or that little voice.
Yeah, the voice.
Okay.
Everyone has that voice.
All right. Tell me about your voice.
That voice definitely, well, let me just put it this way. When I was pregnant with Corbin, as you know, no one knew I was pregnant with Corbin.
No one knew, including me. I feel like a terrible friend because I didn't even see it, but like she was just rocking all those like oversized shirts.
Yeah. So I hid it up until he was born, basically. Yeah. I think I told a group of women that you were a part of.
And that's when
I was just shy of like 30 weeks.
Wow. I respect that.
I told my mom 2 weeks.
Oh, Mom.
2.5, maybe 3 weeks before he was born.
What was the reason behind that?
Why I didn't share it?
Yeah.
I was worried about the perception of what people would think of me being a mom with children going through a divorce, and what would people think about that? Like, I'm adding another child into this world this way. But, you know, I really sat with those thoughts, and every baby is a blessing, no matter how they come into this world. Yeah, and he really did complete our family in a way that we could never have imagined. He's hilarious.
It was meant to be.
He was he's a so funny kid. Yeah.
He's beyond funny. He's exceptionally.
Yeah. So now it's like, whatever.
I love that. But I respect that. And I think we're in a day and age, my purpose of not telling people, I told people at week 28 for my son, and is a different reason. It was because we had so many losses in our 20 to 25 week span. And so mine was fear-based. But wherever that comes from, that's our choice. And I really respect that you did that. And she left the news for when you could just sit back and enjoy my reaction. So that was fun. We were in the middle of we had our like girl time. There was a bunch of us close girls together, and then you mentioned it, and it was just the most hilarious. I can even feel my jaw dropping.
I'll never forget.
It was just the best.
Yeah,
and I respect that. But you didn't even have to explain yourself why. But I didn't even really know why until this moment.
Yeah,
and I respect that because that must be based on something.
I think I posted it when he was either a month or 2 months old. That's when I made the announcement on Facebook, being like, here's our baby, welcome to the world. And people from school, like moms from the school, were like, I had no idea. Why, you were pregnant?
Yeah. But it was so well
and
done.
I gained 60 pounds. Like, how did these? And then I'm like slightly offended. I'm like, you
didn't see. This is who I am. What
you didn't know I was pregnant? You thought I was?
It was the oversized clothes. 60 pounds. You rocked it too. Just like that's the look now, right? That's the trend now.
Yes, my Adam Sandler morning wear.
Oh, don't even
my
get
slippers,
me started on
my cup of coffee.
Yeah, no. Don't even start in on what I wear first thing at pick up and drop off. But I want to talk more about that shame only because this is not unheard of.
Yeah.
The shame.
Yeah.
Did anyone inspire the shame, or is this something that just kind of like came up on your own? Like,
no, I think it's just what you grow up believing.
Yeah. And
knowing what a family should technically look like.
Okay.
And to be fair, I went through this and my views have changed. I know the struggles that my children are going to have to face that Corbin's not going to have to face with not having the parents there. And so I hope that my children go on to do better than I did. And better, I say that, slightly. I don't regret having my children. But I hope that they see the value of that core family.
Okay.
Because our family is like, they see the difference with Corbin.
They do see it. Your family is your extended family?
No, I think the kids do see because there's just never a time where they're having to Corbin doesn't have to worry about, oh, can I call dad today? Is he going to answer? Can I call mom? Or, oh, you have to call mom and say goodnight, or you need to call dad and say goodnight. We're just in the house.
He's next door. He's lying beside me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I bet that for them to now. I used to look at when I was a kid, I used to look at my friends who had multiple households. And back then, I'm not going to really talk about the fact it was in the 80s, but back then I would look back and I'd see that there were some good things about it.
Like two Christmases,
two bedrooms and all that. Now, in your situation with them being out of province, that's not so much the case right now. But let's say that the times that Wyatt does go to his mom's and stuff like that, do you see that he kind of reaps the benefits of being able to, do sets of birthday, presents, that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah, and he loves it.
The stuff that matters to the kids at this point, right? So that in itself can be that silver
Christmas, another bedroom, toys. Yeah, totally. But then there's also when I noticed this with my daughter, too, when she used to go to her dad's house and come back, the turnover, the readjustment of our routine, our structure, our rules, our house time, our bedtime, what time we get up and leave the house, what we eat for meals, it's different. So then the moods are different.
That's tough.
So you're met with more pushback.
resistance and that like in an everyday situation, that's difficult already.
Yeah.
But to have to come from one household to another and then having to adjust to that must be really hard.
And when there's already kids in the house, still following that routine. So just, sometimes, but that's a blended family.
You roll with it.
Yeah.
This is just par for the course. This is just what it is. I love that. So now I'm going to talk about something else. This is also part of the mental load. The big thing on social media that I've also been kind of privy to is the idea of the 50-50 parenting, default parenting. And I see your reaction. It's like, is it really a thing? Is it true? Do you believe that there's really such thing as 50-50 parenting? Now, we're talking about you and Chuck at this point, not necessarily the other parents, more you and Chuck in your house. I want to talk about the idea of default parenting and that there are households, and it is true, where the mom or the primary caregiver at home who's not working is kind of like, I'm the default parent and I'm feeling the weight in a more negative way.
Yeah.
What's your viewpoint on that?
Hold it back. Be very careful with what I say because my views will be different than what the mainstream says. I don't believe in 50-50 ever. Okay. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where me and my partner are always operating at the exact same level as each other, ever. Okay. Like there's going to be days where, depending on what phase I am in my cycle, where I'm up here and I have all this energy and I can get everything done, and he's tired and he's sick, so I'm up here. Yeah. And then there's going to be times where I'm in a different part of my cycle and I don't even want to get up. I'm tired. I just want to lounge, and he's up here. And so I don't think we're ever
lawns, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't think exactly.
Right.
I don't think there's ever going to be time where we are 50-50. We always just have to either look at what they can manage and scoop in. But I will say that our house is kind of managed in a way that wouldn't work for every family.
Right, right.
We really appreciate our roles that we have in our house.
Okay.
And it works for us.
It's very clear what the roles are.
It is very clear what our roles are.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Like, it works for you.
It works for us, yeah.
And as long as you're in agreement, what could be wrong with that?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I was influenced, and I found myself kind of treating George differently. I was like, they were right in that, post I read. And it's not really the case in we were just fine until I kind of got influenced by that, right? And sure, there are households where it's not, it's
it just
not
won't work for them.
Yeah, it's not defined clearly, and I think that's the key. And I think that's why you're able to handle a house of 6 and a little fuzzball. You have a little furry guy too.
Dude, that little rat.
Oh, what's his name?
Bucky.
We gotta give Bucky some love. Come on, Bucky.
Yeah, but in that same breath, I manage my home, but Chuck works so hard outside of the home, which I could not do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it.
No. So why would I not treat my home like it is my job? And it's not like he comes home, sits back, cracks open a beer and goes, get me this, don't talk to me, kids. He's very hands-on. But he's able to come home and be hands-on because the moment he comes on in the door, I'm not like, here's the kids, I'm out.
Yeah.
He gets to come in and it's like, oh, hey, the kids are happy to see him.
I love that.
Yeah.
And he's receiving it. And he's
receiving, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. That's actually a beautiful situation you're in. And I think that resentment that maybe some spouses feel, there's something deeper going on.
Totally. And I mean, there are going to be days where I'm like feeling, oh, no one helps me around here. Sure. Oh, there's laundry on the floor. I just picked this up,
Martyrdom.
But then I also get to look around and be like, wow, here I am with my air conditioning on, picking up this dirty laundry while I'm still in my pajamas, while Chuck's outside in the 30-degree heat. That's a very privileged thing for me to be upset about. You count
your blessings, and I love that.
Totally.
Yeah, we're entitled moments where we're like, and I know my husband, I know George comes in and I'm going to look at him. He's not even here, but he is the first to, clean the dishes when he comes in. And let's say I've been doing, household stuff and then running and caregiving and then, sessions for the kids and pickups and all that stuff. And he'll wash the dishes and all I hear in my head is, he's judging me. He's mad because I didn't cook or I didn't do things on time. But he didn't say it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's not him. It's something to do with
this internal thing. And I've been working on that.
I've had that so hard coming out of my marriage. Totally. Yes. Coming out of my marriage, that was a real thing that I had to break. And Chuck was a huge help for that.
Yeah.
Especially after I had Corbin, I was 6 weeks, wasn't able to do anything from having surgery. Chuck had to take care of the house for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I couldn't even drive. I wasn't able to do laundry, dishes, cooking. So for 6 weeks, he's working full time.
Wow.
Trying to take care of me because I just had surgery, helping with all the home stuff. I have 4 kids at home at this point.
Yeah.
Like we're packing up a house to move.
And you're moving. Oh my gosh, you were moving at the same time. Oh my God. I can't handle I'm stressed hearing about it, but you handled it with grace. So every time I say she's got grace, she laughs because
I can think of all the moments
where she doesn't have grace. Come on, wait. You're human, right? But what I love about this is that you are able to lean when you need to on each other. And that's a true partnership. And I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
I love that.
I couldn't have the flexible life that I have with my children if it wasn't for his hard work.
Hard work. And then being able to, stand back and really see it.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Because he was a full-time parent. He had his son full-time.
Okay.
Since he was a baby.
Okay.
I'm talking like newborn. So he worked full-time and took care of his son full-time. So he knew what it was like to be a full-time caretaker.
And I see it when I see him. When he comes and he picks the kids up and he picks it up, I'm just like...
He says, I would not want to be home all day with the kids. That's not a job that I would want. So we both really appreciate
doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Gosh, communication really goes a long way, doesn't it? You're able to tell each other this.
Appreciating it.
Appreciating it.
Because, I have been in a situation where my job was to take care of my home and my kids, but the appreciation and the communication and the words were so different.
Yeah.
So then you just feel smaller and you don't enjoy it. The fun times of being a parent are just drained. Whereas now I still get overstimulated.
Sure.
But I can turn on the music and have the dance party in the kitchen and we're having fun. And those moments are more enjoyable.
Yeah, I love that. And the fact that because at the core of it is your relationship.
Yeah.
As well.
He's not going to come home and get upset that there's still dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
That used to stress me out.
Wow. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. No, I could not. The thought of my spouse coming home, knowing that there's laundry not done or dishes or I haven't started dinner and it's almost 4:30. The stress that would pump through my body.
Oh, my gosh.
And Chuck noticed that when we got together. And he had to keep telling me don't do anything. We're going to order dinner tonight. Oh, I'm on my way home. You haven't started dinner. Let's just order in. He was so good about just being sit down.
Oh,
why are you mopping the floors again? You did it 2 days ago. Stop.
So he helps you with your own boundaries.
He helps me with my boundaries with everything.
Okay.
How to set boundaries with people. He is a very good person with boundaries.
I love it.
The way that he sets boundaries with work, his business, people.
He has to, having a business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so he's kind of supported you in that.
Totally.
I love
how to set boundaries with my own family.
I love that.
And that's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
Yeah, but as an adult, you just have to decide which walls you need to put up firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he helped me with that.
And then the fact that he also helps you with your own kind of stresses and your own narrative and your own boundaries.
Yeah, my divorce. He took on a huge role. He came into my life and took on 2 children. That's a huge
in the midst of
role.
Kind of transitioning.
Yes,
out of
he
this
has.
marriage.
He is. Yes, me coming out of it, going through a divorce.
Yeah, that's tough.
Is a lot of court stuff.
Yeah.
That's a huge load to carry. And then, as you know, there's more engraved in that, which is very heavy. And then there's stuff, Atlas goes through his own challenges as he gets older with his father. And then, it's just me going through pregnancy. My pregnancy near the end was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And he had to carry that and be brave, and my C-section and all of those things. So
I think we should just call the show Chuck and Small Talk.
Just sit here and be like, I love Chuck. Chuck's amazing.
We love you, Chuck.
Charles,
It's nice.
I love you.
We love Chuck, because I think what's so important about this too is like celebrating our spouses and where that role is. And like, I have you on here because what the naked eye sees is Carly, children, driving, lunches that are beautiful, always early, and just looking all svelte all the time. You're just doing so much.
My kids that. They don't like the lunches.
They don't like the lunches.
No, they complain, yeah.
I'll take their lunches.
Yeah,
oh
why don't I get the packet snacks? So-and-so gets fruit snacks and juice. And
so they compare lunches.
Always, yeah.
You mean they're kids, so there you go.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's easy to just go, gosh, she does so much, which you do, and we all know that, but you're still giving that kudos to the partnership. The partnership is what's helping you navigate this life that is not easy.
Yeah.
And that is part of how you're handling things with grace and are able to get places on time.
Like he is. Yeah.
I love
the rock of our family.
You
totally.
found your partner, and I love that. And I love that this is central, and that we're talking about this because we need to hone in on that. Like, if a partnership is not strong, something needs to change with that. Like, either we talk about this and fix it before just running and deciding that the kids need the fixing or the house needs the fixing. What we need is to see where the foundation starts, and you strengthen that foundation.
And it's so important for my children. Coming from what they remember from my marriage to this is like night and day.
Night and day.
And it's so important, especially, actually for both. I can't say it's more important for either. Atlas is learning how to, grow up and be a man and how to treat or how to be an adult and how to treat his spouse one day, if that's what he chooses to do. And then Willow is seeing how it is to be treated by a man and what is acceptable and what is okay. It's funny because when we're like hugging and kissing, they're like, ew, don't. And
they're looking.
Ew, no kissing. Ew, Corbin. It's funny. But it's important, for them to see affection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we should
affection.
100%. I think we should absolutely save all that PDA for it being in front of the kids.
Yes,
I think they should see it. There's no shame in that. I love
it. Definitely age appropriate affection. Yeah.
We gotta keep this show
Silly,
PG too. But I feel you on that. Like I think, and we used to be really shy about that, my husband and I, and then I've realized, what's there to be shy about?
No, the kids love it. Yeah,
love it. And like I found some like old recordings my daughter took when she was a toddler as well, and she's like, "Ew!" And then why are you recording then, right? Like, because
they like it.
It. I love that too. I love that. Okay, so I want to talk about. I was actually going to be talking about the. Like expanding your family and how a blended family like really differs from the everyday family. But we've covered all of that, which I think is really amazing. But I want to talk about, let's go back to you and Chuck, because that is the foundation of how you're able to handle this with 4 children and the complexities of that. How do you guys find time for each other? Like how?
Usually just laying in bed, putting on one of my TV shows that Chuck claims he doesn't like, but he always is caught up on. I know, yeah.
Of course he is.
He'll like get in and like turn it on. I'm like,
Now you're a little bit of a gamer.
Yeah.
Or a lot of a gamer? A little bit?
I would say a lot more pre-baby.
Okay.
Pre-Corbin, we had more time, right?
Okay.
But now Corbin...
And he joined now. And
there's no doing anything with Corbin.
But let me ask. The reason why I'm asking.
That was our date night. That was pre-Corbin. We would. He would go on his computer and I'd be in the bedroom.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god.
We'd be playing like Call of Duty, but in different rooms with our headsets on.
Okay, that is the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Get together a little online group and start.
Oh my god! I'm going to tell you. So we came by your place, and George just kind of like walked in just nonchalantly, and then he saw your setup,
PlayStation,
and he was just like, "What? A wife that plays, or a spouse, or a partner that plays with their partner?" Like he doesn't even. It's unheard of for him because I don't do that. But that's kind of like it's about this a la carte business. I need to learn to pick and choose the things that would probably bring George more joy. And that's one thing.
And I got competitive. We ended up playing like with my brother-in-law. Like we met people like in the States who we still talk to who play in the same group as us.
Oh
like
my gosh.
Yeah. Now it's more like movies and shows and late night, like date nights in bed. Like kids have eaten, well, let's order something. And we'll just eat it together. Like stuff like that. So most of our talks are, well, have you ever been around when Chuck calls me and gives me his play for the whole day?
I kind of I try not to eavesdrop.
Well, he'll call me randomly during the day and it's just like, oh, just to let you know this, and this happened. And I'm like, oh, wow. And
that's your
I know everybody that he works with. I know everyone that's on his job sites. I know everything about them. I know everything stupid they've done at work. If you've messed up, I know.
Oh my gosh.
If you ran over something, I know. If you've broken something, I know all about it. If you were late for work,
I love that.
I know everything.
I love that. Yeah. So you're like his right-hand woman, like really.
He'll tell me things. I'm like, oh, well, did you ask them like what happened next? He was like, well, no. I'm like, don't tell me these things anymore. Like I need follow-up questions.
I need follow-up. I need to know what happened
next.
That's awesome. Because I think every partner needs to know that their partner wants to know what's going on in their life.
Yeah, I think I'm probably his like most called person.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. That is so cute. I'm sure it's the same for you too. Like
he thinks, but he's like, what is she calling me about now? And it's like, hi, what's going on? Oh, just letting you know I did the laundry. He's like, what? Okay. Oh my gosh, Corbin did this. He's like,
oh, or just sending photos to each other
all the time. I send photos of Corbin doing everything.
Oh, I love that
because he's so funny.
I'm really proud of Chuck because he posts pictures. Because I always like look at George and I'm like, why aren't you ever post anything? Like, what's wrong with you? It just seems like it's one sided in the social. So people call him sometimes the Instagram husband, but he actually isn't because he doesn't like join in the fun sometimes. It's just because he just doesn't want to log on. He got rid of his Facebook account. Yeah. I love the idea that you both have like, you could see this equal amount of like, if we're going to talk about the 50-50, like the way you celebrate your family, it's very much equal. Like you really just saying, hey, this is what my kid did today and you do the same. And I love that. I just think it's so wonderful.
He's always reposting. Yeah. Yeah. But we are both like very like quiet on social media.
It's still with family.
Yeah. Family and friends. Yeah.
I like to consider myself part of the family.
You are. Yeah, totally.
So I get to see it. So thank you for that. Okay. Now, boundaries. Let's go back to the boundaries. What are things that you do to protect your peace in general? And we can get with logistics too. Like if you use any tools or do you do a practice? Like what is it that you do that can? I mean, obviously, the ability to sit down and talk to Chuck at the end of the day
that's huge. Yes, yeah.
What about your own practices, like with yourself? Is there anything that you do?
Other than Chuck, I would say that I rely like heavily on my faith. That's like the biggest thing that gets me through.
Love that.
And that's not something I had pre-divorce. So coming out of my separation and going through a couple of years of my separation and then finding my faith, I see a huge difference in how I can handle things.
Yeah.
And then also just kind of bringing myself back to reality, right? Like I have so much to be grateful for.
I love that.
So much. And there's so many things that I have now that if I looked back 5 years ago, I was like, oh, I hope one day I have this. I hope one day I have that. I'm keep looking this way instead of should be.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I think that comes down to the faith.
Yeah, totally. Too. Yeah, faith
gratitude
really is. Gratitude.
And then knowing you are taken care of.
Yeah. And like respecting my partner. Like I don't need to put him down for me to feel bigger. If I'm struggling, it's because I am struggling. It's not because like I need to point fingers at him and be like, pick up your socks. You know, like his socks on the floor is not really it's not the downfall of my day. It's my 4 children going,
if that's the downfall of your day, that we got problems.
You know, exactly.
You have bigger fish to fry.
But boundaries are a big thing in our family. We set boundaries and the kids know what boundaries are for.
Okay.
They don't stay in the boundaries always.
Right.
But when they step outside of the boundaries and they get hurt or something happens, they are reminded.
Natural consequence.
Ooh, if I had just stayed over there, that wouldn't have happened to me.
Right.
So like they do get a little bit more cautious afterwards. But boundaries work for us.
Right. And what about boundaries for yourself with the people you surround yourself with? Do you even have time for social life?
I would say I'm very selective with my social life. Early teen or late teens, early 20s, I was more like
all about the friends.
Yeah, all about the friends. Yeah. My priorities were so different. And then I had kids. And still, I would say it took until my separation for me to really decide what was the most important to me.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like finding like myself.
Yeah.
So I could be a better mom and be a good partner and to be happy with being a mom and being a partner.
When did that happen though? Like the boundaries, even at my age and my time in my life, I'm still having a hard time.
It's hard because you don't want to disappoint people. Being a people pleaser.
Did you have people pleasing as part of your repertoire?
Yeah, I would say probably. Just like growing up and trying to tiptoe around adults' emotions or their feelings. And I would say a lot of my parenting has come from how I was raised or the lack of.
Okay. So time management.
Time management.
Does that have something to do with
Huge.
that? Okay,
huge.
Talk to me about time management.
Well, I'm chronically early, Debbie.
I kind of know the answer to this. This is kind of a rhetorical question. Okay.
I am, even when I think I'm going to be late, I'm 30 minutes early. So
I had to beg her to not come early. It's like, please don't come early.
I got here on time.
She got, no, you were here. You were early. You were early because I gave you a time frame and you came to the earlier part of the time frame. And I have always admired that. I tease you on it. And I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be just like Carly. And let's just tell you, I'm like, when I grow up means when I grow down, when I start things over. I do. I really admire your time management. But you've kind of...
it comes from trauma.
I was going to say, you play it down a little bit.
I was just always late. My mom, you know, bless her, she did the best that she could with the tools that she had. But she has zero concept of time. Nothing. There's no urgency in getting her out the door. So I was late for everything. Or I would be like waiting after like a dance class.
That's tough.
For an hour. Where's my mom? But you know, she just strolling along and there was no cell phones for me to be like, Mom, where are you? I'm like calling her work, calling her friend's house, trying to track her down.
There is such thing as island living or island time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a thing that's with many of us. And
she's got
no judgment with Mom for me because I have been really hard myself with lateness. And a lot of it is a lack of understanding of, they call it time blindness when you have kind of the way my brain is set up. I have a hard time, and George has lived this, and I see him in my periphery. And he's trying not to, go like this. But I have spent a big chunk of my life, like, you know, saying, what am I doing to my kids? I'm always rushing them because I have a lot of circumstances that don't allow me to have the flexibility of time. The same with you. You have 4 kids.
Different though.
4 different schedules. But at the same time, time management is key. So I'm going to get a little bit like...
I structure everything in my brain.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So structure in your brain?
Yeah.
Or structure on an app?
No.
We have no app.
I have like the regular calendar app that I put stuff in there.
Okay.
Like appointments.
And
but like I know when I need to be somewhere in my brain because I remind myself every day up until that point when I need to be there. And I've like mapped out the parking.
You have.
Yeah, because what if there's construction or what if there's not proper parking, like a parking lot?
And one should do that.
No.
And I don't do that.
Shouldn't.
You play it down, but I got to say it's admirable because there's a regard and respect for other people's time.
Yeah, respecting people's time, I think because...
Important.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was not fun.
Not fun.
Like waiting after school and like your mom's not there or like after class. So my kids just know I'm outside that school an hour early waiting for them.
And I think that gives the safety. And I think when going back to the fact that it's a blended family, I think it's key for all these kids to feel safe.
Yeah.
And there's nothing safer than knowing that they can rely on you. And again, no shade on mama, because I live for my kids. I do. It's all I think about. But at the same time, I still have this complication with time blindness because I overpromise things to other people.
People-pleasing.
And I'm trying to fix that because boundaries. So we're going to have Carly on her show. I'm going to go, let's talk about boundaries. Can you teach me how to do that? So I'm excited for you because I feel like with this newfound, with Corbin kind of completing the picture and stuff, it's like now the structure in your house, the boundaries placed, like knowing who you want to be surrounded with. Like there's just so much good, like good juju going on here.
And you think like in your 20s, you think you have it all figured out, right? You think I've set the boundaries. I know what I want to do. I know this. And moving out at 16, I thought I had it then. But no. It's like,
you really could write a book.
30s, it's like that's when the walls go up and you're like, hey, bye.
Yeah. I love that too. Because
my phone is always on Do Not Disturb. I never answer it. It never rings. The only person it rings for is Charles. Yeah.
And I think that's important. When I implemented some of those technical things, that was a game changer.
Yeah.
So do you have other technical things that you can kind of share with us, because we got to know. I know you don't use like apps and all that stuff, and you are basing a lot of your experiences with from your past.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But is there other things that kind of help push you kind of like out the door is there anything else?
No, I just set my time in my head before I have to be there.
You don't use alarms?
No, just in my head.
Just in your head?
Yeah.
Gosh,
I know when I need to go.
Just put it on my neck and just okay, this is what
I'm panicking the whole way there. Like I'm mapping out every minute.
Oh my goodness.
Like, can I shave a few minutes off of this drive?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that. I love that you did it, because that's really...
But then there's Chuck, who again is just so carefree. And he's like, oh, we have to be there for this time. Well, let's just take your time.
So
and I'm sitting there
you down to earth a little bit with that? Or you bring him down to earth?
No, we called to order dinner the other day. And they're like, it'll be ready in 20 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes go by and I'm looking at him and I'm like, are you going to leave? And he's like, it's 5 minutes down the road. I'm like, yeah, but it's ready in 10 minutes.
You are so George. You're so George.
What do you mean? You're going to be late for the food.
But was he late?
I don't know.
Just on time.
He got there in his time. He didn't care.
But see, this is the problem. There's no
He gets there in time. No, but
he gets there on time.
I know. Or early. And it's like,
this is the
How did you get every green light? Like, how did I get every red light?
That's what I'm saying. This is the problem, is that we're never meeting these consequences. We keep getting rewarded. Like, we just make it time for school bell, and that's the thing. But the shame that goes with it, I'm like so tired of it. So that's why I want to implement some of like how you do it, because I think it's just incredible. Now, I need to ask you, now that we talked about all the wonderful things, the reality, the truth behind blended families, I need to ask you, if you were to bottle up one motherhood moment that really truly sums up the love that you have in your blended family, what would that be?
One moment?
I know that's a loaded question.
It is. I don't know one moment, but I will never forget the day that the kids came into the hospital room to meet Corbin. That was a really sweet moment for all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's even more meaningful for you.
Yeah, that was just because I got to see all of them just look at this little being, and each one of them had like a different reaction. So the night before, we were sitting down at the table and we were kind of explaining to the kids, like, I'm going into the hospital. They're going to do a surgery and then we're going to have a baby.
Yeah.
And Wyatt so innocently goes, oh, Atlas, who's my oldest, I hope he has your skin color. And we're like, well, then there's like a no.
Have more
like,
questions?
No. That'd be great, buddy, but no. So he comes into the hospital room and he sees Corbin and he goes, Dad, he's the same as us. Oh. He looks like you and me.
I love him.
And so he was just so like, well, Atlas, like I wanted him to look at you, but he looks like me. Like, yeah, he's so excited. Atlas comes in the room and right away comes to me. How are you, Mom? Are you okay?
That is so on brand.
So on brand, loves me. Willow comes in the room, straight to the baby. Mom, we're going to take the baby home. You stay here, okay?
Bless.
So they all had a different reaction.
And it was
all sweet. Yeah.
It all made sense.
Yes. Willow's like, I'm going to take the baby. You stay here. Alice is like, Mom, you come home. Baby can stay here. No, and then Wyatt at first was like, oh, we're not bringing the baby home today, right? Can the baby stay here? And we're like, well, we have to take the baby home. He came around.
Things changed, yeah.
Things changed, but it was a cute moment.
That's
yeah, all of them had their own special moment.
Please tell me you
But for me
this.
to have, I don't know. But for me to have that moment with my oldest coming to me, making sure I'm okay, was a really sweet.
Aren't you proud of that?
Yeah, he's a really special kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if we're going to go back to that little tiny word, shame, that might have, you might have given birth to the idea of shame as a young mom. Don't you look back now and go, gosh, I did it right.
Yeah.
Because that little boy
totally
has nothing but love.
Because it's no one else's opinion that matters. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even if it's the opinion of yours in your brain that wasn't right.
Totally. Yeah.
His proving that theory wrong, that like the fact that a single mama, like I'm trying not to cry because I know this little boy.
Yeah, he's great.
I know him. His heart is so big.
Yeah. He's fantastic.
You raised that.
Yeah.
On your own.
He's a really great kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
he says some really special things.
He really does.
Beyond his. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, and the heart and soul of that, I mean, I feel like the beginning of your story of parenthood started with that little boy and you. It's like
I grew up with him.
Grew up with him.
Yeah. I mean, 21 years old. You think you're so grown, but I was a baby having a baby.
Yeah, baby having a baby, but then, and he taught you as much as you taught him, you know. It's just a beautiful thing. And I love that it comes full circle. And then he still takes care of you. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah, he's lovely. If I'm not feeling well, he's like asking what he can get me.
Oh.
I'm thirsty. He's like getting me water.
Oh. And let's be clear, you don't ask him to do these things.
No, he's running after to do things for me.
Yeah.
It's like when I start to clean, Willow's like, can I clean the baseboards, Mom? And I'm like, here's a wipe.
Well, you're going to receive it. I mean, come on.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. But I love how you said before, and you're like, I'm not going to allow
That's how I get
kids.
it all done.
Yeah, that's why you get it.
There's boundaries.
There's a boundary.
Yeah.
There's also like a little thing that we
I wake up and I give them their cleaning list.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. The only thing they have to do is make their bed.
Oh, God.
Every day they make their bed. Every day they have to clean their room.
The fact that they do it.
Oh, they have to.
My gosh. You need to come my house.
I grew up, my aunt used to tell me, my Auntie Sue, I love her. She told me, if your bed is made, the rest of your room is going to look tidy.
It's true.
And if your kitchen is clean, the rest of your house will feel more inviting and clean.
Wow.
So the two things that are always stuck in my head are make my bed and clean my kitchen.
I love that.
Because if people come over, the first place they gather is like in your kitchen.
That's the first thing they see. Everybody, like your kids, yourself.
Or if you are like a host
the aunts.
and you have like, you know, hey, you're bringing food out for people. They're in your,
So that is really...
And then you go into your room and that's your mental space.
Exactly.
Is your head, like your space a mess, then you're going to be a mess.
I would challenge what Auntie Sue said. Well, we love Auntie Sue.
She's the best.
I think that if you make your bed, I think that sets the tone for your entire day.
No, it does. Yeah, totally.
Not just your room, but like your
No, it does.
Day.
Yeah. And your headspace.
Yeah, I love that.
And getting into a made bed.
Oh.
Like when I first met Chuck, I was like, what? How do you go to bed?
Without making your bed first?
Yes. I could tell when his mom was there that day and when she wasn't. because his bed would be perfectly made, laundry folded.
Yeah.
She would come in and do it. Because at the time, she was running a daycare underneath where he lived. So she would come upstairs and do all these things.
Oh, I love it.
And then I could tell, like, on the weekend, I was like, whoa.
She was here.
Mom was not here today.
She wasn't here today.
No.
Yeah. No, that's true. I struggle with that.
But he worked so hard. So,
yeah. I mean, and you know, there's certain personalities that like the first thing they think about is the bed. And for me, my struggle is that my brain wants to do it, but my time won't allow me to. And the fact that I like sleep late, I think your day kind of starts the night before. And that's one thing that I have to say that I do think you really value your sleep, your rest. You make sure.
Corbin.
Okay, pre-Corbin.
Yeah.
You made sure that rest was a priority. And I think
pre-Corbin, I was getting up at 4:30.
You would wake up early, but you'd sleep early too.
I'd still go to bed early, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is a tool that we could put in our lives.
And I do this thing where if I can do it, in 30 steps or 30 seconds that I'm just going to do it. So I could like see, like I'm in the bathroom and I brush my teeth and I put my toothpaste down and I start to walk away. And in my head, I'm like, it could take you less than 30 seconds to put that away. So I turn around, I grab it and I put it away. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, you could have just put that away.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just put it away?
I love that mindset.
Because I grew up, I have to actively tell myself to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning doesn't come natural to me.
It doesn't?
No. Getting up and taking care of like my surroundings and all of that it's not something that I just grew up knowing to do.
Okay.
My space was never organized. My house was never clean. Meals weren't prepared. So I have to I had to actually teach myself and rewire my brain to make it a habit. Because you are a product of your upbringing until you decide to do it differently.
So you decided I have to.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because I was like Atlas's age.
Yeah.
Washing the dishes in my sink because I couldn't stand seeing them piled up anymore.
Okay.
Or there was like mountains of laundry on my couch. And so I knew I'd never wanted that for my kids.
So you ensure that that's a priority.
Me out.
Yeah. Yeah. And because I know you as that clean person, that's why this whole thing shocks me. Like you can see my face.
Yeah.
And I like how I looked when you first told me you were pregnant with Corbin. The fact that this wasn't something that just came naturally to you. I mean, that's actually good to hear.
Yeah, I have to tell myself to do it.
Yeah, and that you can.
Yeah.
And you can trick yourself in thinking, you know what, I can do this in less.
I feel so much better when it's done.
Because when you're, and let me just point this out, that this is my friend who also almost daily says, when I will give her my little play-by-play of how busy life is, she's like, okay, so how can I help? What can I do? I can clean your house. I can come. Let me help you. And you authentically mean it, because she actually did when we had to drop things and leave the city. And you took that role that we could absolutely rely on and trust.
Thank you.
I felt so safe knowing that my home was taken care of. And sure enough, we came home to the cleanest house ever. And of course, we messed it right back up again when we unloaded all this stuff. But what I loved about that is that the sacredness of cleanliness for you bring it into the people that you love too.
Everyone knows me as that lady.
No, but you bring it to their home
my other friend was like, oh, can I borrow your, what was it? Your carpet cleaner?
Carpet cleaner.
And I was like, I have got two. You want the little one or the big one?
This is not an exaggeration.
I just got a really cool new mop.
Oh.
It vacuums and mops at the same time, so my cleaning is cut in half.
Oh, thank you very much.
I use it every day.
We're going to have to talk about that. I love that.
It's the best.
Okay.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. We love Chuck. Okay, now let's talk about one more thing. It's called the fast round.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? This is called Spill the Sass.
Let's do it.
So the truth comes in the speed.
Okay.
Whatever comes to mind, you're going to
I have
answer.
the brain of a goldfish after having a baby.
What a goldfish can say about this then. Are you ready?
Okay.
One word to describe your parenting style right now.
Chaotic.
One thing you secretly let slide in your home.
Oh.
I
don't know. Like, can you give me an example? Oh, I have one. Oh. When my daughter bangs her toe on something hard and it hurts her, she gives it the middle finger.
So you let them just kind of like curse the pain.
Yeah, she'll go, and give it, and then she goes, yeah, and then she feels better because she did it, and then Chuck came and banged his toe on the same thing. It was like, ow, ow. And she goes, you want to know what would make you feel better?
I love it.
So, yeah, I let it slide.
You let it slide.
Yes,
hey,
yes.
That's when good curses are used appropriately. I love it.
Yes, within context.
Within context. Biggest pet peeve that you just cannot let go of in your home?
In my home?
Or in your family, in your life?
Oh, probably like chewing with your mouth open.
Oh, I'll remember that.
Dinner rules. No, like I'm talking like kids obnoxiously and talking to me, and I'm like trying to like hear what they're like. What did you just say?
Like
and they're still saying it.
Yeah, that's a pet.
That one.
I feel you on that, but with adults too for me.
Yeah,
I could do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Parenting hack you swear by?
Oh, we do no screen time during the week.
Oh, okay.
For school weeks. Summer's a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
but it forces them to come home and play like Connects or Magnet Tiles, Legos.
Do you have it ready?
Well, it's in their rooms. They can do it.
Okay, yeah,
as
it's
they please.
there.
Yeah. Weekends,
that's the hack.
weekends we do like our family movie nights, our big beds in the living room where they get to have their snacks in there. Yeah.
Video games.
Love
that.
But yeah, not during school days.
But not during school.
Yeah, and it works for us.
The hack
mood.
is your...
Yeah, because their moods are different. We don't have to come down from like the screen times and because we did have that and we had to break that cycle.
Yes.
Especially when I had Willow and Wyatt home because they weren't in school. Having to detox this because I didn't do screens then either. So they had to play with each other.
And they were
because we can easily go through like 5 hours of TV. And like, where did the day go?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
But you chose not to.
Yeah.
You chose the hard path because that is the hard path.
But it actually is the easier one in the long run.
In the long run, yes.
That's my hack.
I know. That's a good hack.
No TV. My kids think it's a prison.
So will mine.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. If you were stranded on a non-Victorian island with just you, your kids, and Chuck, what is one thing that is in your just-in-case bag?
For my kids or for me? I don't think I should say.
Okay, maybe just let's keep it PG. Well, your kids are there, so maybe kid-friendly. Could be for
I'm bringing them video games if I'm stuck on an island.
Okay, that's where we're going to get flexible with screen time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take the video game so I can go find some food. I don't know.
Yeah, so you can actually get things done.
Yeah,
okay, I like
use
that.
it as a tool.
There's your other hack. Okay,
and they won't complain.
And they won't complain. I love that. Okay, your whole crew's in the SUV. There's a scenario. Chuck is not there. And we know Chuck, when he's there, he'll help out. Well, this is going to be the ticket, is he's not there.
Okay.
You got two kids. They're hungry. One, the third one, is napping.
Okay.
I can take a guess who that is. And one needs the bathroom. And you're already running late.
Wait, so two are hungry, one sleeping, one needs the bathroom?
And
that's
there's
like
a Dairy Queen.
regular occurrence.
Oh, that's your everyday. Okay,
yeah,
so
okay, give it
what's
to
your
me.
plan?
And there's a Dairy Queen?
There's a Dairy Queen. But you're running late.
Ooh, I'm running like how late? How late are we talking? What's the deal here?
Oh gosh, I have
like
to set up
you're late or like my type of late where I'm still early?
No.
Where are we going?
Normal human late. Not Carly late, normal human late. Like late. I mean, you're not running late. I mean, you would feel the pain of you walking in.
Okay, well, I'm pulling over on the side of the road and I'm letting Willow go pee.
Okay.
So she should have used the bathroom.
It's usually her. Okay. It's usually her. Okay.
Then I'm giving Willow a snack that I have in the car because she's also the one who's always
she's the one who's hungry too. I love it.
Yeah.
A little girl.
I always have snacks because Corbin.
Oh, perfect.
And which one's sleeping? Because it's probably not Corbin.
I was going to say Corbin, maybe not
in
Corbin.
In the car, Debbie.
Okay, well, yeah, whoever you could. You're
Which
right.
is also why I have to be early. I have to think about, when am I breastfeeding Corbin? What if he has a blowout?
Oh, good
What if he's crying and I have to pull over because he doesn't like the car?
So you don't have
Willow
this
has
problem because you always think of the worst case scenario.
Well, I do think of the worst. Running out the door, I'm like, Willow, go pee first. Wyatt, you're next. Atlas, go. Like, we have to do it. Water bottles, hats.
Are we ready? You have to run them like we gotta. You got the checklist going.
And then I'll see them get in the car, and I'm like, that one didn't bring water bottle. That one didn't bring a hat. So I'll have it.
To the bathroom.
They won't know. Oh, I'll make sure. So I'll have it, and we'll be driving down the road. I'm like, hope you all have your hat. And you see them panicking.
That's the hack. I love that hack.
Yeah.
I've done that before too.
That's the bad part. That's the bad mom in me. I'm like,
well, that's a smart mom. I think that's a
I have like a sick sense of humor sometimes.
I love it
for my children.
I'm here for it. I'm writing notes as I'm writing mental notes. I love that. Okay, so you passed the test. She spilled.
No, I'm not. I'm not fast.
Well, no, you explain. I like it, but you answered. And the thing is, it's hard for you to just come up with different
kids.
Many kids. We can't just come up with one word. So I will give you grace. All right. So anyway, I think this is a perfect time to say we learned as much as we possibly could in the hour that we had with you. But I am so grateful to you because there's so much to learn. The whole purpose of this show was for me to see how other people do it in the scenario they're in their way of life. And you are completely unapologetically yourself, and so are your children. And I think that is the biggest takeaway. That's how you can manage this craziness and loveliness and amazingness of a blended huge family. To me, it's huge.
Thank you.
And so I'm really grateful to you for that. do you have any other last words to share for anyone who's entering or who's living, the true reality of blended family life or about to enter it? Is there any words of wisdom that you can share with them?
Just love it. Take it slow.
Take it and receive.
Yeah, take it in and receive.
Oof.
Like, there's going to be days where the noise is so much, but I think about my future and I think about sitting at my table and what I want it filled with. And I can't wait to have all of their kids' extra noise running around, right? Or there's going to be days where it's going to be so quiet where I'm going to go, I wish my kids. Or running in the halls when they're not loud, or yelling at each other about taking each other's Legos. Or
I have to keep thinking that forward thinking is where the gift lies. Because you can see what it could be eventually, so you're embracing it. So the word of the words of wisdom is to embrace.
Yeah, slow down.
Slow down, take it in. I love that. Okay, so where can people find you?
On Instagram, my Instagram is Carly, CAARLY.XO.
I love it. So I want to say thank you to my wonderful Carly, and I want to say thank you to all the parents that are out there who are, experiencing this world of a blended family and just all the challenges of it. You are not alone. You are seen and you are heard, and you are doing better than you think. So thank you for joining us here on Sass and Small Talk, the mental load of parenthood, because it takes a village to raise a child and a community to raise their parent. We'll see you on the next episode of Sass and Small Talk. Bye. Oh my goodness! I love Sass.
Probably like that.
You've got all these people. You have to get back to how long did you go?
I need my sass back.
Signing off. See ya, guys. Bye.